Thales asks, "What is the origin of everything in this world?" His answer was, water. It sounds simple now, but it was a revolution. Because he sought answers from nature itself, not from the will of the gods. Without him, there would be no philosophy or science. Thales was the father of philosophy and humanity's first rationalist. No man ever steps in the same river twice. This is the most famous saying by Heraclitus. The world changes constantly, nothing stands still. But he didn't stop there. He saw a constant principle within the change. That is precisely the logos. Even in a world that seems like chaos, an invisible order flows. To see through to that order, he declared that to be the mission of philosophy. Socrates never wrote a single word. Yet, he completely changed the history of philosophy. His only weapon was dialogue. He roamed the agora of Athens, asking people, "Do you truly know?" He provided no answers, only questions to make them think for themselves. "I know that I know nothing." This single sentence encapsulates the spirit of philosophy. In the end, he drank the poison, the price of never forsaking the truth. Plato says, "The world we see is not the real one." A shocking claim, yet his logic was sophisticated. He proposed the world of ideas. Everything we see with our eyes is merely a shadow of those ideas. His allegory of the cave still gives chills today. Prisoners see only shadows on the cave wall and believe them to be everything. But what if someone steps out of the cave and sees the sun? Only then does the true world become visible. Philosophy is the journey out of that cave. The one who has seen the light must return to share the truth. Aristotle rebels against his teacher, Plato. The idea is not far away. It is within the thing itself. He ran on his feet. He saw, classified, and organized it himself. Biology, logic, ethics, politics. He established almost every field of study single-handedly. He was also the teacher of Alexander the Great. Within the mind of the king who built the world's most powerful empire was Aristotle's philosophy. He stated that the human purpose is eudaimonia, which means a happy life. Happiness comes from a life practicing virtue. Virtue is not inborn. It is built through repeated actions. Our daily choices make us who we are. After the conquests of Alexander the Great, the world expanded. Yet, humans became more anxious. The polis fell, and the community was shaken. Epicurus asks in that anxious era, "How can we be happy?" His answer was ataraxia, tranquility of the mind. It is not about chasing great pleasures. It is about eliminating pain. Do not crave honor and power. They only invite greater pain. Simple meals, true friendships, a day without clamor. Epicurus's Epicureanism was, in fact, a philosophy of moderation. True pleasure comes when we lay down desires. He lived quietly in a garden with friends until the end. That garden was his philosophy itself. Zeno taught at the Stoical in Athens. That was the beginning of Stoicism. His message is firm. Do not be shaken by what you cannot control. Wealth, fame, the opinions of others, these are not yours. What you can control is only your judgment and will. That is apatheia, a state free from emotional disturbance. Holding your center even when the storm rages, that was the strength of Stoicism. Zeno's ideas reached Roman emperors and slaves alike. An unshakable inner self. That was the freedom Stoicism pursued. Zeno's voice remains valid before the anxieties of modern people. The flow of ancient philosophy moved like a great wave. In the beginning, humans looked up at the sky. Thales questioned the origin of all things, and Heraclitus found logos within change. Their gaze was toward the cosmos. Then, the gaze lowered. Socrates asked, "Who am I?" Plato dreamed of truth, and Aristotle explored reality. Finally, the gaze moved deeper inside. Epicurus spoke of tranquility, and Zeno spoke of inner freedom. Philosophy finally reached the question, how shall I live? Humans still live within the same anxieties. Listening to the voices of ancient philosophers that is the oldest and most certain path to wisdom.